who took a second look. We have developed our own idea of what religion is. We have developed our own idea of what faith is supposed to be. We have developed our own idea of how we're supposed to live and our lifestyles. What is acceptable, what is not. How we're supposed to be, when we're supposed to be it. But today I'm asking you and pleading with you today that you take a second look at yourselves. Psalms 137, we're going to look at verses 1 through 6. Go ahead, give us verse 1 there. No, hold on, let me say this from the outset. In this Psalms 137, it is believed that this was a psalm written by Jeremiah. And this psalm was a song that was written addressing the issues that they had when they went into captivity, into Babylon, according to 2 Kings, the 17th chapter. Because first, of course, Israel was taken out. Remember I told you in 1 Kings 11th chapter, Israel split as a nation because of the sins of Solomon. Then you had Israel and Judea. But they began to sin. They went off. And the Bible says that in 2 Kings 17th chapter, that Israel, that Most High allowed the Assyrians to run into Israel, and Israel was removed from his sight. But then it began to go on, said that Judea began to do not what the Most High said, but the same things that Israel were doing. So the Most High took them out of his sight as well. And that's when Nebuchadnezzar ran in and took them out as well. Now, this psalm is believed to be written by Jeremiah. And so we're going to deal with verse 1 through 6. But just to give you some insight, later in the weeks to come, we're going to deal with the rest of the chapter. So for all my Hebrew brothers that are watching right now, I know you want me to bring out something else that's in there. But we're only going to deal with verses 1 through 6 right here for this day. Verse 1.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we were wept, but we were remembered Zion. We hang our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they carried us away captive, required of us a song. and they that wasted us required us mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion.
So, the people, the children of Israel, the people of Judea at this time, were taken back to Judea. When you look at the book of, to Babylon. When you look at the book of Daniel, and many of you know about the story of the three Hebrew boys that were thrown in the fire. The book of Daniel talks about some of those people that were taken. The Bible says that when Nebuchadnezzar ran into Judea, he took some of the best people from Judea and took them back to Babylon. So the smart ones, the scholars, the rich folks, the kings, all the royal people. He took those people and took them back to Babylon, and he left the poor and the desolate to remain in Judea alone. And so many of the prophets, many of the seers, many of the priests, they came back, and came back to Babylon, and what it was supposed to be done, what they were doing was in order to basically retrain them and to convert them into their society, kind of like what they're doing here in America, what they did here in America. See, the segregation was one. If you talk to the older people, you talk to anybody 50 and up, they would tell you that desegregation was one of the worst things that happened to the so-called African American community. Because once we went and implemented to the society, we became what they call assimilation. We no longer was taught our culture anymore. We no longer taught the traditions. The Bible was removed from the schools in 1963. Prayer was removed from the schools later. And then as soon as all these things happened, who we were began to change. If you go back and do a survey and do a questionnaire of who the black man was in 1950 versus who the black man is in 2017, you will get completely different answers. The things that they say we stand for today, we abhorred those things back in 1950. But when we assimilated, we completely lost who we were. And this is what is happening right here in Psalms 137. So the people that took them away, the people who plundered them and took them out of their land, is saying, man, sing me one of those songs of Zion. And they used to do the same thing on the slave plantation. Used to have the folks out there singing because they know nobody can sing like us. Nobody can carry a tune like us. There will never be a Gentile that can match Whitney Houston. You understand? It's just not going to happen. But it's very important that you understand that what we're talking about today. I wanted to preface that so you can see exactly what we're trying to point out here when I say it's time you took a second look. Because they're asking them, sing one of those songs. Sing one to encourage us, inspire us with one of those songs. And look at what he answered in verse 4.
How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
Now, what does this have to do with our people, the so-called black man, so-called African-American man? When we talk to people and we ask them, you know, it's time for you to get back to the roots, man. It's time for you to forget these pagan things of Christianity. It's time for you to throw down this identity of being black and being African American and accept who you are, being the tribe of Judah for the nation of Israel. It's time for you to worship the Most High and give him his honor and his glory. Many people say, how can I do this with everything that's going on wrong in my life? I'm poor, I'm pitiful, I have nothing. God ain't did nothing for me. That's what people say. What do I have a reason to praise God for? I can't even pay my light bill. My children ain't got no clothes. I ain't got nothing. Suffering, pitiful. I'm on food stamps. EBT now. What reason for me is to praise God? Look at your churches on Sunday mornings. It's dead. Because of why? Because people are spiritually dead on the inside. They go to church out of obligation. They go to church out of responsibility. They feel like I have to do this. Not because their hearts is in it. Not because they're coming to worship, praise, and be with like-minded people. They're doing it because they feel as if I don't do it, something bad gonna happen. So they come into church, and you have to literally, the people that do praise and worship have to literally put on pom-poms. Can I get a J? J? Can I get an E? E? Can I get an S? US? That's the only way we get the people to even involved. And then you have to do so much just to get people to say thank you, to raise your hand to sing. You know why? Because people are so focused on what's wrong, they can't even see what could ever be right. And this is why we're telling you today that it's time you took a second look. Because if you're so focused on what's wrong, you'll never be looking to the opportunity for things to go right. And this is what was happening to the people right here when they said, sing one of those songs of Zion. And read verse 4 for them again.
How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
How can we sing the Lord's song in a foreign land? How am I going to believe that I'm from the nation of Israel when I'm in America and they call me nigger? When they shoot me in the streets? When I can't get a job? When nobody wants to give me a house loan? How can I sing the songs of Zion? How can I praise Christ? Why would I go to church in a foreign land? But look what his answer was in verse 5.
If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget their coming.
Let my right hand, if I forget where I come from, if I forget what the God has done for me, let my right hand forget how it worked. Verse 6.
If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy.
Above my chief joy. That means regardless of what's going wrong, regardless of how bad it is, you have to give the Most High his glory. Because every morning you wake up is a new morning, a new opportunity for your life to change. The fact that you're waking up, the fact that you own this lesson right here today shows that the Most High ain't gave up on you, so you can't give up on him. You see, the Most High love is unconditional. Therefore, our worship must be unconditional. If the Most High has loved us regardless of what we have done, if he has loved us regardless of all the sins that we have committed, therefore our worship must be unconditional. And the thing about it is, see, that's the difference between praise and unconditional. Praise and worship. See, everybody here praise God. You come in and say, give me a praise report. Yeah, the Most High made a way for me to pay my light bill last week. Yeah, I was feeling bad, but the Most High healed me. I feel so much better. That's the praise. But worship is a lifestyle. The first time the word worship was given in the Bible was in Genesis, the 22nd chapter, when the Most High told Abram to go sacrifice Isaac. And he told the two guys that came with him, me and my son are going to worship, and we both shall return. So the first time the word worship was used in the Bible was when a man was burning down, sad, distraught, and said, I got to go and sacrifice my son for my God. That's when the first time worship was given out. And if you understand that concept of worship, it was transform your concept of worship. A man that was about to have to lose his son, lose his lineages, do something that was completely opposite of what he had to do, but in the midst of it, he said, I'm going to worship the Lord. And we both shall return. That's what worship will do. Worship will bring you all the way into the presence of the God. And you'll be so engulfed in his love and so engulfed in his presence and his power that you will know that no weapon formed against you will ever prosper. But you can only get that through worship. Today's lesson is time you took a second look. Let's go to Micah, the 3rd chapter. Micah, the 3rd chapter. We're going to look at verses 1 through 12 here. I hope this is blessing the people here today to give an understanding, to give a reanalyzation, a self-examination of your situation in your life and your approach to the Most High. Because without it, look, the journey that you're on, you may not know where the Most High is taking you. But I'm going to tell you right now, you ain't going to be able to get there without faith. Faith is the fuel to get you there. And without faith, you will not make it too far. Micah, the 3rd chapter, is the book right after Jonah. Micah, the 3rd chapter, and we're gonna read this entire chapter. It's a short chapter. Verse 1.
And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel, is it not for you to know judgment?
Now we're talking to the leaders now. All of you that's been put in leadership over our people, whether you be a pastor, whether you be a father, whether you be an apostle, whether you be a leader on your job, because if you're a leader, a supervisor, something on your job, you're a leader of people. Whether you be principal or somebody working the school system, community leader, entrepreneur, business owner, whatever the case may be, philanthropist. Read that for him again.
And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel, is it not for you to know judgment?
Is it not for you to know justice? Is it not for you to know what is right and wrong? The fact that you over people, is it not for you not to know what's right and wrong? It's amazing to me now that what's wrong is right and what's right is wrong. And we're blaming all this stuff on people in the world, but it's really not. The world doesn't influence on this anymore. It's the people in the church. It's the fathers. Look, I worked in the school system for years. And it used to appall me how it systematically had went to the point now where all the blame was put on the kids. And we saying like it's their fault. We never did that when we was in school. You know why? Because you had a mom and a daddy would whoop your butt. But when you ain't got that, you're not going to be that. I mean, I've had parental conferences at 8:30 in the morning, and they're showing up drunk and high then. Okay? So, how am I to put responsibility for this child to be right when the parent is coming there in the morning already drunk and high? We're blaming people that's been raised in a family from generation to generation, no Bible, no truth, no church, no Christ, no God, and we're expecting them to live like we do. Okay? So the Most High was asking, do you not know what right and wrong is? Verse 2.
Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them and their flesh from off their bones.
You hate good but love evil. Just taking everything from the people. Everything they got. Having 3 services every Sunday, not to preach the gospel, not to do outreach, but to get offense. Putting all that bondage and weight on your people, on the other leaders that's in the church. Just so you can look good. My father's out here saying, you know what, I don't stay in the home, so I'm just gonna pay child support, and putting all the pressure on the mama to do everything. You send your $50 a week when the rent is $600. Light bill another $200 a month. But I send my $50 a week. Child ain't acting right. Well, talk to the mama. Daughter's getting pregnant at 12 and 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. Mama done went out there and bought them all these skimpy outfits. Letting them go to parties at 12 and 13 years old. Grown men out there. And then you say you got a fast daughter. No. She watched the fast mama. And she became what she saw. And you're just taking everything from the people. Verse 3.
Who also eat the flesh of my people, and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron.
Just destroying them. Taking everything they have, chopping them up, breaking them down, to the point they're nothing. They done gave up. And you move on to the next household. You fathers, man, how can you be that way to your children? 10 kids, 10 baby mamas. That is selfish. Ruthless. Verse 4.
Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time.
Because why?
As they have behaved themselves ill in their doings.
Nah, yeah, but when you get sick, now let's bring you in the church and pray for the pastor. You didn't care about praying for the people before. Why we got to go on a fast so you can get healed? When you let people die in your church, you ain't telling them no truth. No, not going laying on hands, not doing no anointing, no nothing. No, we Baptists, we don't believe in that. How you not believe in that but say you serve the Most High? Letting people come to your house of God sick every Sunday, going right back out sick. Demon possessed, won't cast them out. You know, we don't know nothing about that. Who made you pastor when you don't believe the Bible? Verse 5.
Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, peace, and he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. So
if you ain't giving them nothing, oh, they're gonna speak against you now. Oh, let me call out some sins now. Let me condemn the people now. Because you know, listen, man. The Most High didn't make you to be part of the fivefold ministry to destroy the church. He made you about the fivefold ministry to edify and build up the church. Okay? So let's go down. Let me go to the deacon. Let me get the trustee. Let me get the list. Okay. All right, these people ain't tired for a month. So let's call them out in front of the church. Right? I need this new suit that I'm trying to get. So let's come up with a scam. We can come in and start condemning the people. If you want to be blessed, if you truly want God to move, you will go into your bank account and bring it in now. And destroy the people because they won't fall into this same folly that you're trying to pertain. Verse 6.
Therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, and ye shall not divine. And the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Then the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. They shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer
because from God. There is no answer from God. This is why you're seeing now, like never before, all these preachers, all these prophets, all these apostles and bishops and teachers, evangelists being exposed. That's why you're seeing it now. So now that people are beginning to step back and say, whoa, what are we following? Because now, when the Most High done stop speaking and you don't got nothing, now you're exposed for being the people, the false prophets that you always were. And see, the thing about it, what you have to understand, is like Peter said, people walking in the spirit of Balaam. The Most High was speaking to Balaam. He was a true prophet, but because he chose to use his money for gain, that's why he got caught out there. Most High stopped speaking. The Most High pulled his hand out. And if it wasn't for that donkey that day in the book of Numbers, he would have been done. The angels was about to take him on out. And some of you right now don't even realize the mercy that's on your life right now, all this fake business you're doing in these churches. You know Christ didn't raise on Sunday, but you keep saying it. You know that no good for Friday, from Friday to Sunday ain't 3 days, but you keep saying it. You know we're supposed to be keeping the holy feast, but you don't teach it. You keep on putting Christmas trees and Easter egg hunts in the church, and you know you can't see it nowhere in this Bible. Our people are destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. Not only because of the lack of knowledge, because they have rejected knowledge. And many of them are rejecting it and having the lack of it because the preachers ain't telling the truth. And look at what happened as a result of that. Now look at what Micah says in verse 8.
For truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord, and of judgment, and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgressions, and to Israel his sins.
So the true ones, you got to walk in your power no matter what, how uncomfortable it is, how much you're going to be ridiculed, how much you're going to be ostracized. You true men and women of God that are out there today, you got to tell the truth. You got to call it for what it is. Because if not, we're not going to ever get out of this mess that we're in. Verse 9.
Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equality, and build up Zion with blood, and Jerusalem and iniquity. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money.
Okay, stop. So look at that. All you people that's out there preaching for money said, unless I get this on the ram, I ain't coming. I ain't coming. This is the Most High talking to you right now. All you leaders who show favoritism, all you politicians, all you congressmen, senators, and mayors, and police officers who are doing things for the bribe. I lock this drug dealer up, but this other guy keep tweaking my pockets, so I'm going to keep letting it ride. Profiting and preaching for money is an abomination to the Most High. There's no such thing as people supposed to collect no honorariums. You ain't supposed to be having no manager booking you. You got to have a booking fee. None of that. Okay? Stop trying to be like the world. You got to walk away from this nonsense. You got a church over here. There's people over here, they ain't got a lot of money. They ain't got a lot of resources. And nobody can come in there and give them enlightenment, and the Most High use them because they're so worried about what they gonna get. It's not about what you get, what they get. You get. It's about what you give. Freely we have received, freely we ought to give. Matthew 23:11. The greatest among you shall be a servant to all. A servant, not be served. A servant. Now look what happened as a result of that. Verse 11.
Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, it is not the Lord among us. None evil can come upon us.
So then that's what's even worse about it. They go out and do all this stuff for money. Don't walk in the statutes and laws and commandments of the Most High. Lead the people astray. But then somebody say, ain't the Lord with us? Ain't no harm can come to me. And look at what the Most High said in verse 12.
Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall be heaps of the mountain of the house as the high places of the forest. As the high places of the forest.
Now that's why you wonder why our communities are ransacked, but they got a church on every corner? I know you asked that stuff. You asked that question. How is it a church on every corner, but it's still winos and drug addicts and prostitutes able to walk around and don't have no conviction? People poor, desolate, broken down marriage, fornicating, adultery, drugs, all this in the community, but there's a church on every corner. This is how it happens. It's time you took a second look. It's time to look in ourselves. It's time to look at our faith and how we living, and look at how it matches up to what the Most High demands of us. You understand? This is very important. This is very, very important for the deliverance of our people, the so-called black men, the so-called African-American man in this country. We got to where we were because of God. We got to where we were because of Christ in the Bible. But we fell off, and we're destroyed right now because we walked away from those things as the church, as the community, as a family, and as individuals. But it's time out for that. It's time to take a second look. Now, let's go to Hebrews, 3rd chapter.